Ooh, we get the black pieces for today's video, and we get a bit of e4. So I'm actually going to play a Scandinavian. Now, a lot of you might not be aware, but this is what I started on. My first 5 videos on YouTube, I'm pretty sure I was playing a mainline Scandinavian. So we're going to hopefully go for that again with this move Queen to a5. It looks pretty insane, and yes, I'm holding up my cup of tea because for some reason my OG viewers like to know what drink I'm having, so that's for you guys. I got a nice hot brew in the morning. Oh yes, yeah. So there's actually loads of moves you can play here in this position. Like you can even just play knight f6, which is the modern. But I like to take and play here. What is my opponent doing is my question, because now I just play a6 or even this move c6, because in the main line you often want to play c6 to create a sort of hideaway square for your queen. And if I was to go c6 now, well, I'm not entirely sure what my opponent is doing, if I'm being completely honest with you. Okay, well, what on earth is going on? So I'm just going to go all the way back. I'm just going to go all the way back now, okay, right away. I don't want to get into any shenanigans. I'm not going to take this pawn because I have seen traps that involve playing b4 and then getting the rook there and giving a check. It's very unpleasant. It's very unpleasant. So we're going to stay far away from any traps here. Because, let's have a little look here. Yeah, if I take this pawn, I mean, there's just this check forking my king and my rook. So it's a good thing we just retreated. And now, well, I think we can just begin our development. I mean, we've spent about 5 or 6 moves now just shuffling about and not really doing a thing. So let's just get our bishop on a nice open diagonal. Let's look to bring this knight, push this pawn, get this bishop out. Perhaps we should have played e6 a little bit earlier, trying to threaten this pawn. But I imagine a move like a3. Okay, no. They seem pretty adamant that they want me to take this pawn. So yeah, let's go ahead and just take it. I mean, if they're not going to defend a pawn, I'm going to take it. And the thing is, you don't even have rook here currently, immediately threatening to win a pawn back, because I would just take your knight. So let's now go ahead and play. I don't know, I quite like the look of queen c7. I also quite like the look of just taking this pawn, because then we have 2 attacks on this knight, and then I'm also threatening to win this knight with check. So let's say I were to take on d4 with the queen. What would my opponent actually have? There's no checks in the position. There's no discovered attacks, there's no... Wow, what on earth would they have? I guess you would have to play... I mean, maybe queen f3, but then I don't think you can defend both the knights. So queen f3 helps reinforce this knight, but then this one's gone with check. So I really don't think this is very pleasant for you, sir. I think this might be a... I might be missing something completely, though. Also, guys, I finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support, all the likes, all the comments, all the subs. I mean, I love you all so much. You're just great people. Thank you so much. All right, enough of that. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Okay, so that comes back. So I can take this with check. Oh my god, this is just crushing now. I mean, obviously I could take here, but then I'd lose my bishop. So taking this bishop with check is important, and the only move is for the queen to take. Then I take this with check, and you can block with the knight or with the queen, but then I'm winning this knight as well. So let's just go ahead and do this. I mean, this is just so crushing, it's unbelievable. Obviously you can't take because I took with check, so you got to deal with this issue first. I mean, this is just absolutely stupendous. Check. Now you block... Well, probably with the queen, just because if you were to block with the knight, then I'd take this knight with check as well. I mean, this is just absolutely crushing. Where's my friend from? Is this Romania? It is Romania. Shout out Romania. Okay, yep, block with the queen. So let's go ahead and pick up this knight as well. And now we are plus 10 points of material, which is very nice. This is very nice. Okay, we have a check with queen a5, gaining another tempo, which can only really be a good thing. This just sort of stops our opponent from castling. Obviously you could block, but then we would queen trade, and again I would stop you from being able to castle. Okay, now I feel like we just get castled. Do we just get castled? I mean, how bad of an idea can that be? Castling can never be a bad idea, guys, unless you're castling into checkmate. Unless you're castling into checkmate. Okay, here comes the knight. I just don't want to miss any tactics. So currently I'm looking at sort of bringing this here. And then let's say you went in here. I'd play like here. And you'd actually have nothing. Let's say I go here, and you just come forwards. I then have this check. I don't know, I feel like I really like this check, but what way do we want to go, actually? Let's go this way, because then the knight can't take us. Let's just give this check. Obviously the queen could take, but well, then I would simply take back, and I'd be very happy. Okay, the king like sidesteps to the right. Now this I didn't really even bother to look at, because it just looks insane. It just looks insane. Right, okay. Perhaps we go back and threaten to put our bishop on this diagonal. Could that work? It feels very slow, doesn't it? It feels like a real cheap trick. I don't want to play any sort of cheap tricks. Yeah, but like if we go back and threaten this, it just looks crushing, doesn't it? I'd also like to bring my knight into the game, that way I can get my rooks. So maybe going back is a good idea, so I can then develop my knight to d7, because it'd be protected by the knight on f6. Okay, we do lose the bishop, but this feels like a little bit of an oversight by my opponent, opening up this e-file. Yeah, this doesn't look good. Now we have check. Yeah, this doesn't look good at all, does it? Okay, let's go. Do we want to give this check? I'm going to say that we do want to give this check. Can always get our queen in behind as well, which just looks, oh my god, absolutely gorgeous. Now maybe is the time to bring this knight. Potentially. You just never want to miss anything, do you? Yeah, let's bring the knight, just so now we can develop this rook. And we'd be threatening like a discovered check, and after takes we would win the queen. It just feels like a nice little idea there. Okay, so the queen steps over to c4. Okay. So we've got to look for checks here. We've got to look for checks. This looks pretty good, because this is cut off. This is cut off. All this is cut off. So your only move would be to step up. And then we could like play here, giving a check and threatening to trade queens. I quite like this check. I guess you can block with your queen, but... Oh, and your bishop. I'm so blind. I'm so blind. Should we bring our rook over? Yeah, why not? Let's bring the rook over. Let's bring the rook. And then maybe like knight b6. I mean, just targeting this queen. That can't be a bad idea, surely, can it? It just can't be a bad idea. I quite like the idea of playing here. Just simply giving a check, because it cuts off this square and this square. And if you were to go here, well then I'd win your queen with this discovered attack with the rook. So let's go ahead and go here. I think this is a bad move as well, because I obviously fork your king and queen. So you kind of have to go onto the back rank. But then I'm seriously threatening to win the rook. Okay, so you go ahead and take. I did think that was probably your best option, but now I'm going to take here with the rook. I think it's important to take with the rook. So we're just hitting the queen. Maybe even threatening to double stack. We're also threatening this check now. I feel like there's a lot going on, and I've barely touched my t. Okay, now that is an issue, because that was your only square stopping this from being mate. So that is in fact game over. Good game to my opponent. Guys, we're going to hop straight into a game review and see just how good we did. Black screen, oh, it's all loading. This is nervy. Okay, we played at a 91 accuracy apparently. That's pretty good going. And we never really made it into any sort of middle game or end game, did we? I mean, this is all very normal. This was a strange looking move. It just wants e5 here, which makes complete sense. Like, just take the centre. But this move c6, it's like a preparatory move in the main line of the Scandinavian. You're giving your queen a safety net, because often black will play like d4, I don't know why my arrows aren't drawing, apologies, and then put the bishop on this d2 square behind this knight, looking to bring the knight over here and give like a discovered attack on your queen. It's very common, so you play c6 to prepare. I just go all the way back. Obviously, let me show you guys this line. I would take, and then they would have knight c7, which is very unpleasant, so we just go back, and then it's just all about development, really. There's nothing too crazy here. This was a strange looking move. What does it want? Just take the pawn on b4, yeah. Yeah, this was just a free pawn. I did think at the time it was. And then taking here, like, the game is just completely over. I mean, we take with Jack, take the rook, take the knight. We're up 10 points of material. From this point, it was never going to be easy for my opponent, was it? I mean, I feel kind of bad. Yeah, so knight jumping back to f6. So obviously we're preparing this move. But also preparing the knight to d7 move, because now it's reinforced. I know I did speak on that a little bit, but that's why the engine does like it. We get a trade, which again felt like a little bit of an oversight. The engine says it's the best move, so it's clearly not an oversight, it's just the best move. But after takes back and opening up my e5, it just feels very unpleasant. Block with the bishop, here comes the knight. There is actually mate in 4, and it starts with knight to g4 instead. I quite like the look of knight to e4 because it cut off this square and it didn't allow the king to go here because of this fork. But obviously they can just take with the bishop, which they did go ahead and do. But then after you take back, I don't know what you meant to play here. Where do you put your queen? Oh wow, it really just wants you to trade. It really wants you to reach a position like this. Well, obviously it's very unpleasant. No matter what you do, the game is likely going in my favour, but this was just not it. I mean, that is just mate on the board. Guys, if you don't know the Scandinavian already, learn the main line, okay? It's very good at an intermediate level. I hear a lot of like super GMs saying it's no good at their level, but guys, we're not at their level, and if you are a super GM watching my video, drop a subscription, okay? Love you. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.